So I'm going to start our recording. So, welcome to a Friday morning slow glow. And this is our slowest and kindest practice. And it's all about love for the joints, understanding a bit more about the different options of moving. Um, maybe picking up the odd fact here and there as well. When we talk a little bit more, rest a little bit more. But we always start every practice with our seat. And you'll see this morning I'm sitting up on 2 blocks. And when I'm this high, the knees and the legs feel like they drop out of the pelvis. And what we're really looking for in our seat is the knees to be nicely under the hip points. Some of us may sit up even higher, and that's totally okay. My teacher likes to think of the pelvis like a flower pot and the spine like a lovely flower growing out, maybe a daffodil, with the head, the bloom at the top. And he says, imagine if the flower pot tilts a little bit, by the time you get to the top, the flower will have had quite a big angle. So in ensuring that the pelvis is aligned right, we get this lovely alignment through the spine. Whereas if we're rolled a bit too far forwards or back, suddenly all the neck muscles are working to balance the head. So if we imagine the front and back of the pelvis like a pulley, up and down, and just have a little wiggle, and just try to feel into where does the spine feel like it's coming up and the head feel at its lightest. And then breathe the shoulders up a little bit towards the ears and drop them down with a soft sigh, and then stop worrying about where the pelvis is. It's an idea you can come back to, and it's an ongoing project. We're going to think about our breath a little bit. We're not going to criticize it. We're going to just say hello to the breath. If the nose is clear, we're breathing through the nose, in and out through the nose. And perhaps we're feeling a little tight, and maybe we take a deep breath in and just sigh it out and find a little bit more softness. And then I'll ask you to see if we can smooth the beginning and the end of the inhale and of the exhale so that they kind of blur into one another. There's our samavriti, our same breath, equal fluctuations. And so the breath might, with a little bit of practice, become like this continuous in and out, like a very gentle figure of 8. And there's no stress around this at all. If it doesn't feel nice, you let it go. We're learning to drop into this calm and gentle control of the breath. We can learn to call on this when life gets a bit stressful. And that can help to ground us, to root us, to give us 5 seconds to respond rather than to react. Staying with this samavriti breath, this even, gentle inhale and exhale. Continuously flowing breath for a few seconds more. Now we're going to do a little breath technique together. It's called Nadi Shodhana, and it's alternate nostril breathing. So if the eyes are closed, open the eyes, and I'll show you what we're doing. And we will take the right hand and we'll outstretch little finger and thumb. And we'll bring the first finger and the middle finger to rest just above and between the eyebrows, where you might wear a bindi. And we'll be using the little finger to close the left nostril and the thumb to close the right nostril. And the pattern's going to go: close the right nostril with the thumb and breathe in through the left. Close the left nostril and breathe out through the right. Then we'll inhale through the right, close it, and breathe out through the left. So we're going to go slower than that, and I'm going to talk you through it. And we're just going to take this for maybe 4 or 5 goes round. And if you want to look into the science of breathing into alternative nostrils, it's quite interesting. But we don't have time for that now. So let's bring our hands to our foreheads, bringing the thumb to the right nostril to close the right nostril down, and letting the eyes close. Follow along with me. So we'll breathe in through the left, we'll close the left nostril, and we'll breathe out through the right nostril. Then we'll breathe in through the right nostril, and we'll breathe out through the left. Again, in through the left, close the left nostril, open the right, and breathe out through the right nostril. In through the right, closing the right nostril with the thumb, and breathing out through the left nostril. In through the left nostril. Close it up, and breathe out through the right. In through the right. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left. One more round. Breathe in through the left nostril, close it up, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right nostril, close it, breathe out through the left, and then lower the hand to the thighs and take a nice, gentle, big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And week to week, I'll try to bring in some of these other non-movement based practices from yoga. For me, yoga is more than just movement. However, we are now going to start moving. So, placing the palms on the thighs a comfortable distance away so the shoulders feel nice. Inhale and lift the top of the head, growing tall through the spine. And as you exhale, round the chin to the chest and keep this coming down, gently rolling down through the top of the spine, the upper back. A little bit of engagement in the tummy. Try not to collapse in the lower back. And then rolling up, starting from the mid-spine, inhaling, head heavy. Between the shoulder blades, lengthening the neck, and then the crown of the head, reaching towards the sky, reaching towards the sun. Again, exhale, first the chin towards the chest, then the upper vertebrae of the spine, upper mid. And we're trying to get this rounding through the top half of the spine. The bottom half stays broadly static. Inhale up, leaving the head till last, gently unfurling. Maybe the chin rises a little bit, as if you were taking in a beautiful soft sunlight. Exhale, the chin down to the chest. And again, we're rounding forwards. This time, perhaps we round forwards a little more. Maybe the fingertips creep forwards a little more, and we take a slightly deeper bend. Take a breath here, breathing, if you can, between the shoulder blades, feeling the rib cage expand. And breathe it out. Maybe there's a little more softness here. And then very gently, the head heavy like it's full of wet sand. Inhaling, lifting the spine, lifting from the tummy, restacking the vertebrae. And again, just a comfortable amount, raising the chin, palms or the fingertips on the thighs, as if this glorious sunshine is coming in and it feels beautiful on your face. And on your next exhale, reset the chin. And if you're sitting up on something, take it out and place it to one side if that's comfortable, or just try to come down a little bit. We're going to inhale our hands up above our heads, and we're going to twist over to the right. So start this from the tummy. See how far you can come round. And then we're dropping the fingertips. So the left fingertips will come to the right thigh. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale to get taller. And as you exhale, maybe there's a bit more twist to be found. Avoid scrunching and grabbing the shoulders. Let the tissues relax with the breath and with this feeling of comfort. Inhale to center, raising the hands up above your head, and we're twisting over to the left. Again, start from the tummy, add the fingertips. Inhale once more to get a little taller. Exhale, opening into this twist. Imagine the spine spiraling like a DNA spiral, so each vertebra is moving around its neighbors. Inhale to the center, and we'll go one more time. Exhale to the right. Strengthen the core. Neck and shoulders relaxed. Now, listen. Going to keep that left hand rooted on the right thigh, holding onto the knee, and inhale the right hand above the head, and lean over to the left for a little side bend. Breathe. When you're ready, we'll inhale both hands above the head again. And for our last time, we're twisting to the left. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling to grow taller. And again, trying to take hold of this knee, or maybe we're taking hold of the thigh, or even the shorts, the leggings here. Inhaling that right hand up, turning the shoulders towards the front. And we're leaning over and we're finding a little side bend, arm coming across the body. Breathe into it and see if there's any tension you could let go of that you just don't need here. When you're ready, gently letting go of the leg, inhaling the hands up. Exhale, place the fingertips behind you facing towards the back of the mat. Roll the shoulders and inhale, and just gently open the chest, open the heart. Try to squeeze a little bit through the pelvic floor and the lower belly to help the lower spine be comfortable, help the lumbar spine be comfortable. And then as you exhale, we're rolling forwards again, and the fingertips are going to come in front on the mat, and we're finding a little bit of a deeper forward fold here. So we might walk the fingers forwards, feel the spine coming out of the pelvis now, so we're not looking so much for that bend in the top of the spine, but more length forwards. And finding your depth with this. So everyone's going to have a different depth. If the body is willing, we can lower the elbows a little bit or walk the fingers forwards, bringing the face closer to the floor. Or perhaps in your body, the forehead might come all the way to the mat, and that's okay. We're just finding a nice, comforting depth with this where we feel, nice stretch. To come up, we'll gently walk the hands back. And we'll bring the hands again to the knees, and we'll take a seated cat-cow. So that's going to be inhaling to open the chest and come forwards a bit. Exhale to round back, chin to chest. Inhale as you come forwards, roll those shoulders back, open the heart. Exhale, round it back. Inhale, you want to feel the pelvis rolling forwards and back, starting the tilt of the flower from the flower pot. This week I've been using plant-based metaphors in all my classes, which is quite fun. And goes with the rain, I think. Let's bring some circular action into our seated cat-cow. So as we inhale, let's inhale towards the left knee and come round a little bit. And then as we exhale, we'll go back. So we're making a big circle. I sometimes describe this as grinding spices with the tailbone. Imagine you're a big pestle, some sort of mill, squashing some peppercorns beneath your butt. And again, you could be coming really low, or this could be very small. What we want to feel is a sort of wavy-like motion traveling through the spine. Let's come the other way if you haven't already. So we'll be inhaling towards the right knee, tracking across to the left and going back towards the left. Grinding our peppercorns. And then let's come to stillness. And we're going to roll down onto the back for a little bit of gentle core work. So the soles of the feet can be on the floor and the hands beside us. And we'll find a little curve in the spine here. And we'll just try to see if we can come down quite slowly. And maybe we put the hands back to support us and move the bum forwards, or maybe we can lower down with control all the way. However we get there, it's totally fine. That's what we need and what we have right now. We'll find our way onto our backs. Maybe draw the feet in a little bit closer so the heels are beneath the knees. The knees are in line with the hips. And we'll start off just by rocking across the base of the pelvis. So it's like windscreen wipers with the knees. Back and forth. See if you can feel that massaging out the top of the glutes and across the base of the spine. And if you're ready, we'll pick the feet up. And I'm going to roll back the pelvis a little bit so that the bottom of the back is spreading out under the weight of the knees. I can feel that. And then I'll rock again from side to side. So I'm rocking from one hip point to the other hip point. And getting this nice release across the bottom of the back. And still perhaps a bit on the top of the glutes as we come to the sides. We can make this a little bit bigger. So you can bring your hands to the outside of the knees. And maybe you can roll a little further to each side each time. And you might find that the movement can travel through a bit more of the spine. So now my shoulders are coming off the mat. I'm feeling like I start the movement in the hip and I finish the movement in the back of the head. I'm rolling out the whole back of the body. A lovely self-massage practice here. And next time you come to the middle, we'll lower the left foot to the floor and we'll put our hands around the front of the right knee or around the back of the thigh, depending on what's possible to us. If you can make it around the front of the shin, let's take hold of the front of the shin. And as we inhale, push the shin into the fingers. So we're pushing away and we're resisting with the hands. And as we exhale, we're drawing the knee back to the body. We're relaxing the leg and we're using the hands to move the knee in the general direction of the armpit. Doesn't really matter where it comes to. And we inhale away. This is as strong as feels comfortable. And as we exhale it in, this is as soft as we can make it. So a little bit of strength on the inhale and a little bit of softness on the exhale. If it's there, you might draw the knee a little bit out to the side of the body as if it was going to come into the armpit. It probably isn't. But if you were drawing a line, that's where the line would end up. Moving some fluid through the hip joint here. And then let's send the left hand out to the side. And I'm guiding the knee. I might move my hand to the top of the knee, guiding the knee through some circles, like I'm drawing some rings with the knee. And the trick here is to keep the core firmly engaged, the shoulders flat, and try to move the pelvis as little as possible. So we try to get the movement to be isolated in the hip socket. Take a few the other way. These could be really, really small. There might be some clunks and clicks, and that's totally normal, not to be worried about. That's just leg a little out. So just extending. Now, don't kick from the heel. Don't kick from the knee. Extend from the heel. So just sending that heel away. Again, the left foot is still on the ground for stability. The shoulder blades are nice and soft. We're just seeing where this leg wants to go. Maybe it's going a little bit higher, if that's available. Maybe it's quite a small movement. And then we're going to send the leg into some little raises. So we're going to heel away. We feel the front of the hip here open. And we inhale. We draw it back up. So now it's this walk with the heel down towards the floor. Find your level. Don't let the back come up off the floor. More if the back's uncomfortable. And we're stepping the heel down to the floor and picking it up. Let's do that 4 or 5 times more. Building a little bit of strength in the deep core. And then when you're done, take a couple of rotations through the ankle. Nice soft knee. Scrunch the toes. And then let's pop the right foot back on the floor. We'll pick up the left leg now. Just have a little wiggle and check that you're happy the body's nicely aligned on the mat and comfy. And then again, hands either to the back of the thigh or around the front of the shin. And on the inhale, trying to push the shin away, resisting with the fingers, and then exhaling, getting very soft in that hip joint, drawing the left knee towards the left armpit. Inhaling it away, little bit of strength. Exhale the knee to the armpit. Let's do 3 more of those. Inhale it away. Exhale it in. Inhale away. Exhale in, and 1 more. Maybe push a little harder this time. Maybe push for a tiny bit longer. You can feel maybe the tissue around the shoulders stretching. Exhale really, really soft here. And then we're placing the right palm flat down on the mat for stability. We're guiding the knee through circles. Left hand is on the left knee. And it's like we're drawing big O shape with the knee. And we're looking for the minimum amount of movement anywhere apart from the hip socket. So the pelvis stays as still as we can. Let's go the other way. The shoulders and the head as still as they can. Just moving the fluid through the hip socket. Excellent. And then we're just seeing if we can take a few of these little extensions through the legs. So we're imagining we're maybe closing the kitchen drawer. Being very lazy this morning. We're just going to close the drawer with the heel. Maybe there's a slightly higher drawer which we need to close. Or maybe it's a cupboard. The leg's a little bit higher. And then we'll take these little leg raises. So we're starting with this. The toes are drawing back. And we're finding our level with this. Again, nothing moving apart from the hip joint. We're drawing these little arcs with the left heel. Exhaling down, inhaling up. We can really trying to leave the back down on the mat. Feeling the tissue at the front of the left thigh extend as the heel goes away. And now a little bit of challenge. Let's do 4 with both feet. So let's pick up both heels. The hands could be out wide for stability, or they could be on the tummy, so you can keep in contact with what's going on there. And then we're exhaling the heels away, finding the point at which we're not strong enough anymore in the tummy. And then we're inhaling them back up. So as soon as we feel like the back's doing the work, we've gone a little bit too far. Exhale both heels away. Inhale them back. 2 more. And our last one, exhaling both heels away. Hold it, hold it. Inhale back. Put the feet down. A small wiggle through the hips, rocking the knees from side to side, just in case any tension crept into the lower back there. And then we're going to roll across the spine. So more spine up here. The hands can come to the back of the thighs. And it could be a small movement. And it could then grow to a bigger movement as the spine wakes up a little bit. And this is such a beautiful movement because it's so childlike. And I always love an excuse to do this because it's just fantastic for separating out the spine. And it's that little bit of silliness and allowing yourself to be a little bit silly that I think is really good for us. Next time we come up, let's see if we can stop and find the hands on the floor. And we're going to come onto all fours. So this is our tabletop position. If the knees aren't very comfy, please pop a blanket or a folded towel under the knees. We don't have to have uncomfy knees in yoga. And I've got the toes tucked. So some people like to have these flattened, and that's different. It activates different muscles. But in all my teaching, we've got the toes tucked at the moment. So roll the shoulders back, just like we were doing earlier. And we're going to take a few spine dips here. So this is really going to be building strength in the rhomboids and across the whole shoulder girdle. And the trick to this is the tummy, okay? The core is engaged, pelvic floor is engaged. And it's like we're squeezing a pen between the shoulder blades as we exhale. So it's not a push-up. The arms stay completely still, the hips stay completely still. We inhale, raise the spine between the shoulder blades, exhale, squeezing a pen between the shoulder blades there, squeezing them together. Inhale up, exhale, squeeze the pen. Inhale up, exhale, squeeze. Inhale. What's going on with the tummy? If you drop the tummy, squeeze the tummy in. Inhale up, one more shoulder dip. Exhale. Inhale to neutral. Lovely. And we're just going to take some free movements here, some wiggles through the spine. So maybe we send the hips from left to right. Maybe there's a sort of a spirally movement. Maybe the head is following along. Do whatever feels comfortable. You can look at me for inspiration if you're not sure what to do. But anything that feels nice is correct at this point. Have a look at your hands and spread the fingers out a little bit wider. Index finger is pointing straight forwards. Nice. Wrists are finding a bit tiring. Try moving the wrists back a little bit so they're more under the shoulders, and squeeze the fingertips into the mat, and that will help activate the muscles in the forearm. Let's untuck the toes, send the bottom back towards the heels, lengthening out, extended child's pose. We're going to come forward, inhale, and see if you can be light in the hands, lifting from the tummy, this nice curve in the spine. And as we come forwards, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the bottom, lifting the gaze. As we exhale, start the movement, tuck the toes again, by pushing into the toes and curling the pelvis under. We're finding as big an arch, a rainbow through the spine as we can. Inhale again, pushing the toes, starting to move at the pelvis, and this movement traveling all the way up the spine. Opening the heart. It's like we've got a necklace on here and we want to try and show our necklace off. Once more, push from the toes. This is really active. Rolling the pelvis under, arching the spine. Inhale. Moving the pelvis, lower back, mid back, upper back. Finally the neck, if the neck's comfy. If the gaze is down a little bit, totally fine. Once more, untuck the toes and send the bottom towards the heels. Quick point on child's pose. If we can't get the bottom to the heels, we take a prop and we see if maybe we could get a bit lower with the head suspended here. And again, if that was still too low, we might build ourselves a little tower. So the bottom's on the heels and we get the forehead onto our prop and we find ourselves getting heavy. We feel the bottom relaxing and then we maybe go, okay, maybe I can take away a little bit of my tower. Okay, I'm feeling soft again. And we gently work down until we find the point where the head is really relaxed and we feel the lower back really relaxed as well, with the knees coming towards together rather than being wide apart with the body between the knees. We want the knees going forwards and the buttocks resting on the heels. It's enough on that for now though, because we only have this short time together. Let's come up to kneeling. Now, we're going to play with this. We're going to see if we can tuck the toes. And we're going to try and gently come back to put some weight there. As if you don't do this regularly or ever, this could be very uncomfortable. So we're gently coming back into it. The goal is to have the whole weight on top of the heels. That may well be inaccessible. And again, we could place a pillow between the bum and the heels or a block. And that could be on a higher setting. We're still feeling the weight go down into the toes and stretch out the foot. You'll get easier every single time you do it with this, but the foot's just not used to it every day. Let that go. Lean forward, hands back to the mat. We're going to come into our downward dog. Check the hands are positioned nicely with the fingers spread, fingers gently gripping the mat. Push from the hands, index fingers like they want to slide away. Resist that and use that opposing force between feet and hands to send the hips skyward. Now, don't worry about how close the heels are coming to the floor. The knees could be very bent. Try not to have a big arch in the lower back. And then try to grow long between fingertips and pelvis. Seeing if we might find a bit more space between each vertebrae. And we're going to take a little wiggly walk to the front. So the heels are going to go one way and then the other as we take little twisty steps towards our hands. Knees really nice and soft. And when we feel like we've come towards our right amount, we're stopping with the feet about a fist width apart. And this is our body on the thighs pose. So we're softening the knees down and we're softening the knees down until the body is laying on the legs. So we're not going for a big dramatic forwards folds here. We're looking for this softness where we're flopped onto the legs and we're not doing any work in the body. Take hold of opposite elbows with each hand. Imagine that the arms are full of heavy, wet sand. See if you can relax the neck and use the weight of the head and the arms to draw the vertebrae apart a little bit more. Perhaps with an inhale, there's a gentle lift of the body and a replacing it, a caterpillaring
down the thighs, and there's a tiny bit more length, maybe just a centimetre or two to be found there. Maybe you take a little sway from left to right, or nod the head, swaying forwards and back. Again, whatever feels comforting here is good, and just go with the instinctual yes. Maybe there's a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, a sigh. Yes, I am awesome, you could say to yourself. Now let's let go of our elbows, and we'll bend the knees a bit more. The bottom's going backwards, and we feel the weight even over the feet. Tuck the pelvis under to protect the lower back. Knees nice and soft. We're lifting from the tummy as we inhale. The head's heavy, just like at the start of the class. Head comes up last. As the head comes up, the fingers come up, the arms come up, and perhaps, once again, we gaze up at that perfect summer's day sun, that gentle sun. And then we exhale and we find the hands in prayer shape in front of the heart. Have a little shake, have a little bounce, have a little hop about. Maybe you shake the head, let the face go really floppy. Again, take a little moment to feel a tiny bit silly. That's okay. And then we'll settle ourselves down, come back to stand with the feet. Again, just hip width apart, second toe facing forwards. Feel like you want to draw the heels together and see how that activates the muscles in the inner thighs, and see if that activation lets you lift out of the pelvis a bit more. Draw the back of the head back slightly and find length through the crown. Inhale the hands up above the head. Exhale as we fold forwards, soften the knees first, send the bottom backwards, and we're looking for this nice lumbar curve here. As we forward, fold, soften the knees more, and then we're rolling forwards, letting the head go heavy. Fingertips towards the mat, so bend the knees enough the fingertips come to the mat. And then we're inhaling for our halfway lift. If you haven't done this with me before, have a look. In our halfway lift, again, we're coming to find this nice lumbar curve. So the knees could be very bent. Fingertips might reach the floor, but if the back ends up like this, fingertips on the shins. Exhale, soften the knees, hands come down, step the right foot back, tuck the toes, drop the knee to the mat, and we're in this low runner's lunge. I'm going to walk my foot forwards a little bit until my back can come to a nice straight bit, but that might be too much in the thigh. So feel free to have it more square here as you need. Okay, if the knee's uncomfortable, pad the knee. What we want here is to not be like this. We don't want to be sagging. We want the spine nice and upright here. And the strength for that comes from the toes pushing away. And this nice lunge. So even here, we're stretching open the thigh. We're strengthening the foot. Let's add the arms with an inhale. Maybe the gaze gently lifts. Don't lose the tummy. No discomfort in the lower back. Exhale. Lower the fingertips and see if we can step it back to find our child's pose again. Sending the bottom to the heels. Use your hand to help the foot move if you need to. On an inhale, watch carefully. We're sliding forwards, bending the elbows, lying ourselves down on the mat. Hands come forwards, elbows under shoulders, and a little back bend here, a Sphinx pose. That's it. So bring the elbows a bit further forward so they're directly under the shoulders. Root the tops of the feet down and let the lift come from the engagement of the feet and the hips pressing down into the mat. If the lower back is not happy, we come down a little bit. If the lower back's fine, maybe we inhale and we lift a little bit more. Elbows might come up off the mat. Find your spot. As you exhale to come down, drag the hands towards you to lengthen the spine out. So you feel the spine extending. Hands slide back next to the rib cage, toes tuck. Inhale, then on your exhale,
Again, we're coming back towards our child's pose with the toes tucked, and we're lifting up, downward facing dog. Pad out through the heels gently. And then we're inhaling the right leg away from us. Again, it's like we're closing the cupboard door with the heel rather than trying to fling the leg in the air. So nice and strong and engaged and conscious through this movement. Inhale. As we exhale, bend the knee under the body as if we were going to kiss the knee. Maybe you can kiss the knee. And then we're going to inhale the leg back and away from us, kicking that door shut. Inhale. On the next exhale, we're coming through to our low lunge again. So step that foot down. Try to step it down as gently as you can. And then if you need to wiggle it forwards a bit, wiggle it forwards a bit. Drop the back knee. Toes are tucked. Pushing from the toe. And it's like you want to spring off the back foot. Pushing through the toe. Lift the body. Inhale. Add the arms. Very nice. Everything's working really hard here. If it's not, work harder. Exhale the fingertips to the mat, picking up the back knee, and we're bringing the feet together at the front of the mat. Exhaling the body onto the thighs. Inhaling, we're rolling up. Heavy arms, heavy head. And then the hands float. Exhale the hands to the heart. And we'll go again, other side. Inhale the hands above the head. Exhale. Nice forwards. Inhale, let's find our flat back, nice lumbar curve. Exhale, hands down, and this time the left foot steps back, toes tucked. Inhaling, pushing off the back foot. Low crescent lunge. Tummy engaged, thighs working, feet working. And we're going to take a small twist here. So we're going to exhale and we're going to twist to the right. Maybe the hand comes to the knee. Maybe the other hand opens out. Or maybe we stay here. And on our inhale, back to the center. Exhale the hands down to the mat. And again, coming back to our child's pose. So get that foot back. We're untucking the toes for this one. Bum to the heels. And we're inhaling forwards to find our back bend. So laying ourselves down on the mat, sliding the elbows under the shoulder, inhaling to find our sphinx. Maybe we can move the fingers back a little bit to add some depth. If the back's happy, maybe the elbows lift. If that's feeling yummy. If it's not, just come back to an earlier version, lower it down. The back's not going to open up through abuse. It's going to open up through gentle strengthening, routine, commitment. Exhale, lower the body back to the floor. Remember, we're dragging length into the spine with the hands and the feet. Placing the hands next to the ribs, tucking the toes. Exhaling the bum back and inhaling, downward dog. Pedal the heels out. And this time it's the left leg, so lift the left leg back. Send the heel away. Exhale, bring the knee under the body towards the nose, kiss the knee. Or imagine kissing the knee. Inhale, send the heel away. Exhale, stepping through to low lunge. Get it as far forward as you can without dropping it. Lower the back knee, back toes strong. Inhale it up. Taking some little circles with my chin to ease off the neck. Anytime you feel like you need to add in some little movements that feel yummy, you go right ahead and do that. We're twisting now to the left. So on an exhale, we're twisting out. And again, drive the action from the back toe and see if that makes it easier. See if you can feel the back toe switch on, the right glute switch on. And if you took it on the first side, right hand outside the left knee, the left hand's going back, opening the shoulder, See what's going on with the hips. If you drop one hip, see if you can level the hips out. Inhale it back to the center. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Lift the back knee. Coming forwards to our forward fold. Soften over the thighs. Drop the bum and inhale, rolling up. Head last. And then arms to the sky. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Nice. So let's, I haven't done this yet. Let's have a goddess pose. So in a goddess pose, it's a bit like twerking basically. So we're going to turn the heels in and the feet out. And we're dropping into this sort of wide squat. Now, key thing to look for is the knees are going the same way as the feet. So you might want to turn around so you can still see. That's it. And the other thing is, it's really tempting to sort of drop the spine to go a bit lower. So come a little bit higher, lift out a little bit, and try to feel like your body's still upright. And maybe you can exhale and come a little bit lower, opening the knees out so the knees are above the feet. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms above the head. Exhale, down into your squat. Don't have to come as low as me. Inhale up. Exhale down. Or of course you might have very open hips and come lower. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Remember to keep the knees over the feet. Inhale it up. Exhale our last. So let's just hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale it up. Big breath in. Oh, big breath out. Turn the toes to face forwards now. Yeah, the feet probably in about the right place. And we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So you can stay where you are. I'm turning around so you can see. Knees are a little bit soft. And it's just like our normal forward fold. So I'm just adjusting my cable there. We're looking for this nice lumbar spine. So I might bend the knees quite a lot. And maybe my fingertips might come to the floor or maybe not. But I'm going to try to avoid this shape, which isn't very nice for the body. I'm going to try to find this nice shape in the back on the fingertips. If the fingers aren't making the floor, but we're finding the shape in the spine, again, this is where we can use our block for a little bit of support here. What we want is the pelvis to get used to being able to roll over rather than trying to bend the back. So, feet, I'd say get your fingertips on the block so you can extend the back up a little bit and get more of this nice straight line in the back. We don't want to collapse in like this just to try to reach the floor. Eventually, we're going to be able to extend forwards out of the pelvis while keeping the nice form. So we have to start off by telling the body what we want it to do. Let's just hold here for a little bit longer. And then ever so gently and experimentally, hands can stand up. We're just going to bend into one knee. Really, really nice and slowly here. We don't want any nasty surprises in the knees or the hips. We're gently bending into the other knee. We're tracking the bum across. Maybe it's like we're playing tennis. It's a general idea. You could be as fast or as slow as you want it here. Play with it a little bit. Maybe the hands could float. Maybe it's very small. That's totally fine. We're just getting a bit more movement through this hip socket. And then let's let that go. We'll heel and toe the feet a bit closer together. Nicely bend the knees. And we'll come up to standing again. Step the feet back to the center of the mat. Nice breath in. Nice breath out. So, one more pose. I know, Sharon, you've got to go soon, so we'll have one more pose to come down to the ground. We're going to come into a little chair pose. So inhaling the arms up so we're next to the ears. And as we exhale, bottom's going backwards. tummy's happy. And when we feel the lower back start to get involved, just try tilting the pelvis and see if you can find a comfy spot. Maybe there's a bit more depth. This is our Utkatasana. We call this a chair pose in English, but it actually translates as fierce pose or intense pose. If you're not finding it intense, there's always the option of coming lower. We're not going for a marathon here, so let's straighten up. Inhale. Nice gentle roll down. Fingertips to the mat. Step it back to a nice soft downward dog. Inhale forwards. Place the knees on the mat. And we're going to come down onto our backs. So finding this bit of this same pose we had at the beginning. So it's kind of bridge setup. We've got the feet under the knees. Sorry, excuse me. We've got the feet under the knees. And we're feeling that the body is really resting here on the mat. So when we choose to move something, we'll engage it. But we're trying to learn to let the ground do the work when the ground can do the work. So feeling the shoulder blades separating a little bit. Like, we're on the ground. Nice. And we're going to come to a couple of little bridges here. So we're going to place the backs of the hands on the floor. And we're going to be heavy on our shoulders. Inhale, tilt the pelvis so the lower back flattens. We lose the lumbar curve. Exhale, and it's like you want to slide the feet away. You're sliding the feet away. And as the feet try to slide away, but they don't because they're gripping the mat, the hips naturally rise between the shoulders and the feet. Exhale it back down. Now, here's a little something I was reminded of this morning. I need to turn this mat around. It can really help us to get the feeling of this if we take a hold of the side of the mat. So you see I'm gripping the mat here next to my bum on each side. And I can pull the mat towards me as I sort of try to slide the feet away. And that's a little extra bit of tension. And it, again, might help us to take the effort out of the lower back, because that's usually the problem with this, is that the body wants to go into its bad habit of squeezing the psoas here. And that's when we get a nasty, grumpy lower back. So really pulling the hands towards you and sending the feet away. Strong through the tummy. Squeezing the bottom. Squeezing the inner thighs together. And hopefully we can tell the lower back, hey buddy, you don't need to get involved here. We're going to come down now. I thought of this especially for you, Fiona. Lay the body down as if we're laying down a nice sheet of pasta dough. It's very delicate and we don't want it to tear. So gently rolling this piece of dough down, one vertebrae at a time. Really placing the back onto the mat with respect and love. And then we're going to take more little bridge here. So gripping the mat, if that was helpful for you, or palms, backs of hands on the mat. We're going to lift up, sliding the feet away, getting nice and long between the shoulders and the knees. Maybe the fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, and then the elbows could press into the mat and give us a little extra lift. Maybe the chest opens a little bit more. And then we're going to, again, exhale and roll our dough out. Lay the spine back down. Really nice. So let's I'm not sure if everyone's got a block, so we won't do that. Let's come to our happy baby. So I'm going to pick the knees up and find the knees sort of floating vaguely above or towards the shoulders. And the hands might find the back of the thighs, calves, ankles, or any grip. As far away as is nice. Take care. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The thing with the happy baby is we don't want to roll the sacrum up off the mat. So finding a position where we can hold on to feet, ankles, legs, lower back still nicely spread out on the mat. And maybe we're feeling that we're drawing the legs away and resisting with the hand. And then exhaling and softening, just like we did at the beginning with pushing the shin into the hands. So we might inhale, try to send the feet away, try to send the legs away. Exhale, soften. See if we can find some softness in the hips. And keep going with this. This is actually a very gentle isometric stretch. We resist and then relax and become a little deeper each time. This is brilliant for building strength efficiently. Push hard, push the feet away. Exhale. Maybe there's a little rock side to side, if that's nice. A last little massage of the lower back. And we'll finish the supine twist. So release the legs or the feet. And my guidance with the twist is to leave the back of the head and the shoulders on the mat. And we're going to twist to the right. So hips a tiny bit to the left, a couple of inches to the left. And we're going to leave the shoulders and the head on the mat, send the knees right. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring my left hip point, my left hip bone there, above the right one. So maybe the left leg might reach a little bit further. And the general idea is that we might end up with the hips perpendicular to the shoulders, at right angles to the shoulders. That might not be available today. That's okay. We leave the shoulders and the neck and the head really nice and relaxed. And again, we just let the movement come from the hips and the pelvis. You might send the left arm out wide for better stability. You might gently place the right hand on the left thigh and see if you can encourage it over a little bit more. We're winding down now, so no need to look for any extra depth. And we're gently going to come back to center. Pick the left knee up and then the right knee. And we're gently scooching the hips over to the right. Maybe the right hand's going out to the right, and then we're dropping the left knee, and we're sending the right knee over, bringing the right hip bone with it. That's it. Yeah, maybe we use the hand. Maybe we use the hand to encourage it over. You're just asking for the tissues to soften. And ever so gently, we're picking that right knee up, and letting the left knee follow. And we'll just lift the hips an inch or two off the mat so we can straighten up the hips. Lift the shoulders gently off the mat, and then the back of the head gently off the mat so that we feel that the spine is nice and straight. And we're coming to our final resting pose now. So it's worth taking a moment or two to get set up nicely. You might want a blanket or a jumper if it's cold where you are. And if you have something like a sleep mask to put over the eyes, it can really help to stop yourself getting distracted if you put something over the eyes. If you don't have anything or you're not comfortable with that, that's totally okay. When you've got whatever you need, and there's no rush at all, see if the legs might extend out long down the mat. If this is uncomfortable in the lower back, consider putting a pillow under the knees Or resting with the feet slightly further apart, knees bent, and the knees coming together to support each other. And finding somewhere you think you can be comfortable for 3 or 4 minutes. And as you settle down, eyes covered or closed, bring the attention back to the breath, a passage of air in and out through the nose. No need for any special lengthening or deepening of the breath now. Let it be as it is. Merely observe it. And now track the passage of the breath into the lungs, into the body. Notice the expansion of the rib cage and perhaps the sensation of the clothing on the body. Notice the points of contact with the mat, with the earth. Is there perhaps a little tension around the shoulders? Could we maybe find a way to relax them a little bit more? Bring the attention to the backs of the hands resting on the mat. Maybe the fingers are gently curling. Take a moment to acknowledge the wonder of the hands and all the miraculous things we do with them every day. Bring the attention to where the bottom of the spine and the pelvis are resting on the floor. Take a big breath into the tummy and see if that might feel a little heavier around the pelvis, around the back and the buttocks. Maybe they could be a little softer as we let the ground do the work, let the earth do the work. Bringing the attention into the legs. A moment of gratitude for these wonderful things that move us around every day. How convenient they are. See if the legs, maybe the thighs might soften a little more, the calves, as we release into the support of the ground beneath us. Finally, bring the attention to the feet. So many little bones, and they can take so much weight and exert so much force, yet they're so small. Perhaps they represent our impact in the world, small and powerful. Let the next breath in be a very, very big one. Open the mouth and let the breath fall out of the body. Ah. Gently bring some energy back to the fingertips, movement back to the fingertips, and ever so slowly draw the hands towards the face. Pick up the elbows and bring the 3 fingertips, index, middle, and ring finger, very, very softly
rest at the temples. Maybe the tip of the index finger tickles the edge of the ear, the little bone at the side of the ear, the little cartilage at the side of the ear. And the ring finger might be coming towards the eyebrows. And we'll take some very small, soft circles at the tips of the fingers. Let the fingers go where they feel they're needed. So maybe the fingers might come to the edge of the jawline. We might take some little circles, massaging where the jaws meet, or along the cheekbone. Maybe we drag a finger along the cheekbone. And bring the fingers to the middle of the forehead. Gently drag them out to the sides, dragging the forehead, gently massaging the forehead. Gently massaging beneath the eyes, along the top of the cheekbone, towards the ears. Sliding the fingertips across lovingly. Taking a couple more breaths to come back to any spots that really feel like they want a little bit more. And then placing one hand on the heart and one hand on the tummy. Taking a nice full breath and feeling the hands lift. Breathing it out. Once more. Breathing into the hands. And we're going to slowly wake ourselves back up. Maybe taking a little wiggle through the feet and the ankles. Extending one set of toes away and the other. Let's bring the arms up above the head. And take a big stretch, like waking up from a blissful, deep sleep. And then in your own time, we'll be rolling onto one side. It could be the left side or the right side. Drawing the knees in. Maybe we're resting the side of the head on the arm. And finding this nice little ball shape, like a little seed, ready to sprout into the rest of the day. Ever so slowly, we're making our way back up to a cross-legged seat or any other comfortable position. Leaving the eyes closed for just a little longer. Maybe allowing yourself a small smile. Thinking of one thing you're grateful for. I am grateful for. This practice of active gratitude is immensely soothing. Thoroughly recommend finding some time to think of things you're grateful for each and every day. Once more, we'll inhale our hands above our heads. Exhale our hands to meet at our heart. Drawing the neck and the back of the head back, slightly tucking the chin, bowing the forehead to the hands. Thanks and gratitude for the practice.
our fellow yogis. Namaste. Or wherever and whenever you might be watching this, thank you so much. And I hope to see you for another one very, very soon. For now, bye bye.